Hello, I am back, and please excuse the interruption. I apologize for that. Let's continue on. So, I was talking about the exploration part of my lesson and how I would model it before letting the students do their own activity. So, on the whiteboard, I would model my important landmarks and how I would put them in the key, like the teacher's desk would possibly be a table with a star in it. The sink could be some droplets of water. The mailboxes could be an envelope, and so on. I would make sure that they understand that the legend on the key is extremely important to finding landmarks on a map. After I have shown and displayed my map on the whiteboard, I would give the students about 5 minutes to explore the room. I would encourage the students to get up and explore the classroom quietly in order to get a better view of the classroom and the landmarks in it. This will also give them time to be social and bounce ideas off of one another. After they return to the desks, then they will begin making their classroom maps. When done, if time allows, we would share at the front of the classroom. So this would be their time to look around the classroom, share ideas with each other, what they might possibly be putting on their map, how they might be drawing their symbols on their key, and how they might design their map. So after they're done, I would probably only give a max amount of 5 minutes for this because in my second grade class, more time than that roaming around the classroom usually leads to inappropriate behaviors or disruptions or excess energy that gets them very distracted quickly. So about after 5 minutes of time, they would return to their desks and they would start working on their classroom maps. So this during this time, this is the activity time. I would have them an allotted 15 minutes of time to do their map. 15 to 20 minutes would be sufficient for them to get their maps done and color them and make sure that they are legible and easy to understand. So yes, that is my lesson. My inquiry part of my lesson or my extension, I would have the students to learn at a deeper, more complex level. I would have them create a map of their school. So possibly I have some high achievers in my classroom. So I might have them, they're probably going to get done quicker. I would probably have them create a second map of their school. This would broaden their search and ideas for important landmarks. It would also allow them to see that within their school map, they have their classroom map and it would continue. Like kind of like how we're already learning within their town map is your school map, within the state map is the town map, and so on, which is the lesson that we're already working on right now. So that would be my extension activity for my high achievers or students that possibly need to learn at a more complex level. For my assessment part of the section, I would simply just use their classroom maps to assess the student knowledge. And by the completion of their worksheets, excuse me, and the effort that was put into their maps. They should have a key that is easy to understand and be able to locate their landmarks with their key. Their map should be legible and should be clear. It should be designed to be read clearly, and their map should be drawn with care. They should also have their desks or themselves located on the map since it incorporates with our current lesson, which is all about who they are, where their special place in our world. The differentiating instruction strategies that I would possibly use for my struggling learners, I typically like to pair them up with an advanced learner that can help them understand and locate the landmarks in the classroom if they're kind of having a hard time or struggling with that. If they needed help on the drawing portion, I would probably support that and help them, give them ideas on the whiteboard saying you could draw it like this, or I would still want them to draw it themselves. I would just give them ideas on the big whiteboard in the front of the class. Another strategy for learners who may distract easily would be to involve them in the instruction portion of the lesson by having them get up and point out some of the landmarks that the students could possibly use if they wanted. This will allow the students to feel included as well as get them participating in the activity. So some of my students that get kind of disinterested quickly, I would probably have them get up and say, what landmark would you use? Why would you use that? How would you incorporate that into your map? How would you draw your symbol on your key for that landmark? So this would keep them interested and engaged for the lesson. The classroom management strategies that I would use for this lesson would be to some preventative measures to ensure that the lesson is effectively delivered would be to have the students who may have behaviors be included and active from the beginning by having them pass out the atlases and pass out the maps. When needed, I would also have them pass out the worksheets. As I talked about before, I can also have them locate the landmarks in the classroom and kind of give us some suggestions. To ensure there are minimal distractions when teaching this lesson, and I don't want to waste any time when all we have is 30 minutes of valuable time, which goes very quickly, I would already have the students have their pencil boxes out and their dry erase markers and anything that they might need to create their maps would already be out and ready on their desk. So they would be prepared and ready to go. I will also have clear expectations about the noise level and distractions for when they explore the room for landmarks. They will have a 5-minute time frame for this to be certain that there is no unnecessary discussions or distractions happening and they are focused and at the task at hand. With the proper procedures in place, the lesson should run smoothly and be fun. I think that my students are going to really enjoy this lesson. As I said, this is going to be an extension lesson. We've already been talking about maps and we've already been talking about the globe. We've been using the other side actually of our map and talking about continents and oceans. And we've kind of touched base on the key a little bit in the compass rose, but this will be just a great extension activity. I do want to apologize that I didn't get to record this with my second grade classroom. We have been working on a 3-week extensive project about, like I said, them in their special place. And they have actually a big booklet that they're designing that will be their social studies assessment while the teacher that I'm subbing for is out. So they actually just finished this up today, right before spring break. So if you want, just let me know. I can record the lesson when we return from spring break, which would be after this next week. I would be more than happy to do that if you wanted me to, and send it over to you. So yes, thank you. I hope you enjoyed my lesson, and thank you for listening and your time. Have a great night.